A lot of people are saying now was a horrible time to buy an RV.
Well, that's terrible news for us. We just bought an RV, Joe.
That's okay, because today we're going to talk about why now was actually a great time to make our RV purchase.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we're two crazy campers.
After losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds.
We realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure.
So about 3 months ago, we started discussing buying an RV. And then Rachel started watching a lot of YouTube videos and came to me and said,
it's the worst time to buy an RV.
And I said, you know what? I really don't think so. So today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why this was the perfect time for us to buy an RV, and it may be the perfect time for you to buy an RV.
But before we get started, please do us a favor and like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time Joe's trying to get out of the doghouse by making a video to legitimize a giant purchase, you'll be alerted to it.
Okay, so number 1, the supply of RVs is low right now, but it's not going to get better anytime soon.
Remember, all of these RVs are actually made by hand, and they're waiting for a lot of raw materials that are in pretty short supply right now.
Not only is there a short supply of raw materials, but there's a short supply of a lot of the items and the components that go into the RVs. Things like air conditioners and hot water heaters. So a lot of the manufacturers have like long assembly lines of things they've already built, like rigs that are like 80% done, but they can't complete them because there's no air conditioner or they don't have a refrigerator that fits inside of it. And that is not going to get any better. They're going to have to complete all of those rigs before they get to the rig that you want to buy.
And when will that be? 6 months, a year? I don't like that kind of uncertainty. And a lot of times you have to put down a pretty hefty down payment for them to even start making your rig.
So one of the reasons that we actually ended up purchasing a used rig is we were in the same situation. We were buying something that had to be built. It was supposed to come off the line like the first week of November, and then we were found out it may be even longer because there's a short supply on air conditioners and stuff. So we just didn't want that uncertainty. So I would definitely say if you're gonna buy a rig right now, you wanna find something that is currently on the lot, either new or used. And speaking of used, I don't think there's going to be a giant influx of gently used ones either.
I gotta say, I was really hoping that there would be a ton of newbies that would decide this RV life just isn't for them. It's just something that they wanted to do during like the quarantine season. And then they would dump a whole ton of gently used RVs back into the RV lots.
But what you weren't taking into account was they are very upside down on the loans. People forget that RVs depreciate. They depreciate a lot. And so even if they got a really good price, a good discount off the MSRP, most people are going to be like, you know, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 upside down. And I don't know about you, there is no way if I bought an RV for $30,000 and then found out it's only worth $20 on the used market a year later, I am not taking a $10,000 hit. I'm gonna hang on to it for a little while.
Yeah, hey kids, guess what? All of our vacations for the next couple of years are going to be in this RV whether we like it or not.
The other thing is you have to remember, there's still a lot of people that are a little afraid to get onto airplanes and things like that. And I think at least for the next year, people are gonna continue with the RVing just to be on the safe side. So to go along with number 1, number 2 is I don't think the price of RVs is coming down anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the days of 40% off the MSRP and these big show prices are gone for at least a while.
Yeah, it comes down to the law of supply and demand. Right now, the demand is really high and the supply is really low. And what does that mean for you? It means the dealers don't have to negotiate. There's no reason for them to negotiate. And the prices keep going up. Just in the 3 months that we were looking for rigs, I actually watched the price of one particular rig at a store go up from like $16,000 all the way up to $23,000 in just a 3-month period.
Yeah, and when we looked at this rig, we found out about it at like 9 o'clock one evening. Joe was at the dealership at 9 a.m. the next morning, and there were 2 people in line behind him to see it.
And it already had like 700 hits online. The only reason we were able to get it was, number 1, The dealer would not allow somebody to put a deposit unless they physically saw it in person. And the other thing is there were no pictures online. So people were clicking on it, not seeing pictures, and moving on. Had there been a bunch of pictures, there probably would have been a longer line at the dealer when we went up to look at this particular rig.
And at some dealerships, you don't even have to be there in order to put a deposit on it. You can purchase it sight unseen.
Yeah. Now, to go along with all of this, the cost of raw materials is going up. The cost of wood is more expensive. The cost of metal is more expensive. The cost of TVs and refrigerator, everything's more expensive. Go to Home Depot right now. Take a look at the price of a 2x4. It's like double of what it was a year ago.
Number 3, believe it or not, we're heading into wintertime.
Yeah, you may not be able to tell by the way we're dressed because wintertime in South Florida is actually the start of our camping season.
Yeah, but everywhere else in the United States, they're getting ready to bundle up.
Yeah, a lot of people right now are winterizing their rigs. And what does that mean for you? Less people around the country are going to be looking to buy RVs. Yes, supply is still low. And yes, demand is a little bit higher. But think about it this way. Do you want to spend $15, $20, $30, $40, $100,000 on something that you're not going to get to use for another 6 months to a year? Probably not. I know I'm that way at Christmas time, right? All of those things go on sale like 50, 75% off the day after Christmas, like all the decorations. I don't ever buy them. You know why? Because I don't want to spend the money on this stuff and not to get to enjoy it for another year.
I want to play with my toys immediately.
Yeah, so what that means for you, if you're looking for a rig, right now, the supplies are low, but they're going to be even lower come the springtime.
When everybody's done shopping for Christmas trees.
So number 4, once you actually buy your RV, it's a pretty cheap way to vacation because all you're gonna have to pay for is your gas and then the fee for whatever RV park you're at, whether it be, you know, a state park, a national park, a county park, or you may even boondock at some place where it's completely free.
And it's still nice to be able to tailor make your RV experience because a lot of tourist attractions across the country have changed a lot this year and they may not fit your family's needs anymore. But if you're in an RV, you can really decide what activities and games and things that you would like to do with your family and just make it your own. And you can have this experience on a weekday, a weekend. You can go away for a week or multiple weeks. You can even do homeschooling on the road.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about you guys, but we spent $25,000 on a rig. We intend on using it. That may not be the case if you're just planning like a trip to Disney or something like that. But when you've got that monthly mortgage payment sitting on the side of your house, you're more apt to get in it and use it on a regular basis.
Number 5, you don't want to wait and push pause on your family time. We've learned from experience raising 3 now adult boys. The days are long, but the years are so very short. It just goes by really fast and you don't want to miss this time by putting it off another year or two while you're waiting for prices to come down.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at RVs going, you know what, I'm going to wait 2 or 3 years until the manufacturers catch up, until like the newer RV owners are like not so upside down and they start selling it. But by then, your kids are 2 or 3 years older. I mean, I wish we would have gotten into RVing when our kids were little. I mean, we tried camping for a little while, but one of the reasons we stopped camping is they were miserable camping in South Florida without an air conditioner.
Well, even the people that bought the pop-up camper from us had a 6-year-old daughter who was in kindergarten this year. And when asked why they wanted to buy a pop-up camper right now, they said, because we've probably only got 6 or 7 more years left where she'll want to camp like this with us.
Yeah, and maybe you're like us and you have older kids and you're starting to think about retirement, or you're beginning to be empty nesters like us. You don't want to put off that time for 3 or 4 more years. I mean, I'm just becoming 50 now. I don't want to wait until I'm 55 or 60 to really get to experience the great outdoors. We lost over 100 pounds apiece, and we don't want to put a pause on that anymore. We wasted so much of our life being obese and not being able to move. The last thing that I wanted to do was wait another 6 months or a year to get to enjoy the time outside. Well, there you have it. The 5 reasons why I thought now was the perfect time to buy an RV. What do you think?
I think those are great reasons, but I think you forgot the 6th reason.
What is that?
If we had put off buying our RV, we might have put off starting our Two Crazy Campers channel.
Well, speaking of Two Crazy Campers, make sure you hit the like button on this video and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you're interested in seeing how we both lost over 100 pounds apiece, go check out our other channel, Two Crazy Ketos, which I'm going to leave a link for right up there.
Also, don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time,
Happy camping!